According to the UN, the global human population reached 8 billion in mid-November 2022, and that's from an estimated 2.5 billion in 1950, which means we're adding 1 billion people since 2010 and 2 billion since 1998. There are a lot of people that are here on this earth, as well as a lot of people that are living longer. And that is an amazing, awesome thing. And at the same time, our healthcare systems and other systems are being strained by the fact that many of us are living longer. And we deserve to have that type of, we deserve to have the opportunity to have great quality of life from when we're born all the way till we transition and leave. And that is really being challenged today, as I just said. Well, let me back up and say hello to you all. This is Courtney Rollins, the host of the Life and Transitions Expert Podcast. And yes, I'm here to discuss things related to helping folks deal with the huge transitions in life. My focus is helping families and folks who have to deal with the house and the stuff, whether they're dealing with a estate planning or a probate in the estate, or in this situation, what we're going to talk about today is if someone's actually living and they find that they need some type of support, some type of help, some type of solutions to helping them find how to fund long-term care. And they may be looking at the house to see what are the possible options to deal with the house to help support funding for the family, or just to help support with the transition to more extended care for a loved one or family member. So let's jump in. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it, as my man would say. So there are a lot of situations where you may find, as we're getting older, that your mom or even your dad or someone that you love that's getting over, maybe they're starting to fall a little more than normal, or some of their daily activity or tasks that they're normally able to do becomes more challenging, like just even preparing food or meals, or even getting in and out of the shower or the bathroom. These are things that happen, and especially as we get older, perhaps your mom or your is survived because dad's passed away several years ago, and you may be more concerned about perhaps the limited daily companionship they receive, or just the meaningful interactions that your mom or dad or someone's getting. And you and your family realize that, okay, there's time. We need to think about providing some type of care and supervision for my mom at that stage. And many of us can't do that because the average amount, I'm not sure where this statistics is coming, but I did hear at a great workshop or training a couple weeks ago in St. Louis called Mom's House Training, but I digress. But there we were discussing just the realities of senior care and senior living. And we discussed that, we'll share that many people live about 400 miles away from their parents, or that they are maybe not concerned about because of the challenges that happen as we get older. So all this being said, you decide, okay, it's time for me to look at my options. And I don't know about you all, but there are the senior care space and industry has something that's grown and has continued to grow because, again, of us getting older. The baby boomers are definitely making an impact there, and there means there's so many options, but there's so many variables that someone faces. So you may feel, or someone facing this may feel very overwhelmed, and many of us find that one of the biggest challenges is figuring out how to pay for care. And we realized that mom and dad's savings, retirements are not what they were promised or supposed to be, and are not enough to take care of long-term care. And if we decide to move into an assisted community, you may find that Medicare does not cover assisted living at this time. You also may find that if a person to qualify for Medicaid, there are so many steps and stipulations, which state that's involved. It's a federal program that's run at the state level. So it really changes so many. So it's a challenge to navigate what's covered, what's not covered. And then you throw in factors like maybe military service or other type of services that may possibly be covered. And it's a lot to untangle, folks. I'm not an attorney or financial advisor, and I'm not offering advice, but I am sharing my opinion based on the work in this space, in this field, and definitely encourage you to seek out more support for Medicaid, insurance, and Medicare, just to figure out what your options are. But as we were saying, Ben Rayo, one of the co-founders of Mom's House, which is a space that helps families with the transition, particularly dealing with the house and the stuff. He's also author of Paying for Long-Term Care, The Essential Guide to Understanding and Funding Senior Care. But he stated a Fidelity report that a 65-year-old couple that's retiring in 2019 could expect to pay around $285,000 on long-term care costs alone. And again, a lot of these retirement funds and pensions just aren't adequate enough to cover. And so where will the funds come from? And that's where a senior transition specialist can come in and really help. So often, sometimes when you turn to look to see what is the biggest asset that we can unlock here, many seniors do have, or many of us have, our biggest asset is our house. And it also can often become the biggest obstacle if you're trying to figure out how to either unlock the equity in that space or even deal with the stuff. We'll talk about that in a moment that gets accumulated over time. And so someone like a state pro service or senior transition specialist, we are trained to help you find options, to look at what options you have, whether that's helping you figure out how do I stay in the house and how do I provide in-home care and service for my mom and for folks. How do I make sure she or he or they stay put, helping with those options, whether it's on the other end of, okay, we need to go ahead and sell this property so that we can use the funds to pay for that, for long-term care for my loved one. Help you do that. And especially really relies in being home professional buyers, where if you need a quick sell, that's where we're really able to step in and provide a lot of value. You may find that, hey, I don't have the luxury to wait to list the property. If you do have the luxury, awesome. But we know that most sales cycles for a traditional listing of a property can take anywhere from 3 to 6 months. And we're not even talking about the cost that it may be to rehab or repair a house that probably may be dated because mom and dad have lived there for a while. Having to move the items around and get it ready for showings, again, can be a challenge because of the items that have been collected over time. Being able to pay some of the commission and closing costs takes away from the funds, and all this time is taken away from the time that your mom and dad or the folks need support and need care and need supervision. The longer they're staying in the house, the longer you need to go somewhere, but you have to wait for the house sale. That's quality of life, quality of time, and safety concerns for family members. So if you do need a quick cash sale, a senior transition specialist should be able to help you with that. And instead of waiting the 3 to 6 months, instead of paying the closing cost and paying a real estate commission, no real estate commission. Most senior transition specialists should be paying all the closing costs and can often close within 3 weeks as soon as they get clear title and put funds in your pocket. Now that means your loved one receives the funds quicker and have care a lot sooner. And there are sometimes folks who maybe they're blessed enough to not, funding is not the concern, but it's actually taking care of the stuff that's in the property. Or even funding is the concern, they're still taking care of the stuff. What's great about a senior transition specialist is they'll purchase the property, often will purchase it as is. So you can leave any item you want in there, take whatever item you want out, and in particular, help you deal with those items, point you in the right direction to help you decide how you're going to sort, help you sort, do the sorting, do the organizing, do the downsizing, do the cleaning, as well as help you monetize the properties either through online auctions, or either through estate sales or other means. But it's a great opportunity for you to have skilled, trained professionals navigate through a space which often can be very challenging if you're doing it on your own, because of all of the actual size of the scope of the actual activity of cleaning something out and the challenging emotions that get involved with working through personal property. Sometimes a third party that's trained in this specifically just makes a world of difference. So folks, I highly recommend you check out a senior transition specialist. What's great about this is, as you all know, if you follow this channel, I also work in the world of estate planning and help families that are navigating the probate process and helping families avoid the probate process. And here in this space is opportunity to help families avoid probate by making sure that whatever assets or things are in the space are, that you have the opportunity to take a look at how you can minimize and hopefully avoid probate all along the way. So check out Estate Pro Service LLC or any senior transition specialist that you may know of. If you need someone that you're not in the Durham, North Carolina, Raleigh area, reach out to me. I am connected to a network of professionals and would love to help you any way we can. So if you're following on YouTube, would love any feedback, would love any comments, would love you to like, subscribe, and any platform you're on to help us reach many people and help us make the algorithms very happy and satisfied. All right, folks, it's Courtney Rollins. Rising tides, it lifts all sails. Cheers.